Chapter 3. An Unspoken Kindness. After a few weeks of consistently producing magic videos, Mina's channel had grown moderately. She had built a loyal audience, and her creative, behind-the-scenes approach had captivated a new generation of magic enthusiasts. She hadn't yet performed her biggest illusions, as she wanted them to be just perfect when she shared it with the world. Instead, she decided to just perform some basic sleight-of-hand tricks she had done before, as well as talk about some of the elements of making magic, such as misdirection and the use of gimmicks. The money she earned from her various channels, once a pleasant surprise, had become a stable income. She didn't have enough subscribers or views to monetize her magic channel, but that didn't matter to her. She could never make a cent from magic, that was never the point. This was what her whole life was about. While focusing on her passion, she also still ran the other channels with a little bit of help from her friends. After all the expenses, including paying her helpers, her balance between her 3 channels now stood at an impressive $4,000, a sum she had worked hard to earn and a powerful testament to her ambition. During this time, Mina had been communicating with her biological grandmother via email, a relationship that had blossomed despite their vast distance and language barrier. It was a slow, sometimes difficult process, but their bond was growing stronger every day. In a series of emails, Mina's grandmother began to open up, sharing a side of the story Mina had never known. Her grandmother had finally been able to persuade Mina's biological mom Hannah to talk to her, even if only through the stories of her past. Through the grandmother's words, Mina learned of the great pain her birth mother had carried all these years. Although the initial emails were a bit awkward at first, they found themselves picking up natural conversations like two friends who had not seen each other in years. Hannah had been left pregnant by the man she loved, who had simply vanished. Overwhelmed by shame and the weight of her circumstances, her grandmother informed Mina that Hannah had contemplated suicide on many occasions. She had tried to hold on to Mina for a few months, but without a proper support system from the government, she saw no way out. In a final, honorable act of desperation, she decided the most loving thing she could do was give her daughter up to a good home. When Mina's adoptive parents went to Korea to get her, Hannah held her and cried for hours, a moment of profound heartbreak and noble sacrifice. She even kept a small photo booth picture of them together from that day. The shame had clung to her like a shadow that followed her everywhere she went. She and Mina's grandmother operated a small stand selling fruits and vegetables at a traditional market to support themselves, but they barely scraped by. A profound sadness washed over Mina as she read the emails, but it was quickly replaced by a sudden, fierce sense of purpose. She wanted to send her birth mother $1,000. Mina knew she didn't have direct access to her earnings, as her parents managed her bank account until she was older, so she needed their permission. That evening, she sat down with her parents. "Mom, Dad," she began, her voice quiet and a slight tremor in it. She looked down at her hands, embarrassed by the request she was about to make. "I want to send $1,000 to my birth mom. She really needs it. My grandmother told me about how hard things have been for her." Her parents listened carefully, a hint of concern in their eyes. "Mina," her mom Sarah said gently, "that's incredibly generous of you, sweetie. But $1,000, that's a lot of money you've saved up. We were hoping you could use that for a car or to put into your college fund." "I know," Mina responded, looking up, her determination outweighing her embarrassment. "But this isn't about me anymore. This money is a result of my hard work, and I've decided what I want to do with it. My birth mom went through so much. I want her to know that her sacrifice wasn't in vain, and that I'm grateful for her. I want her to get the things that she needs, whatever that might be." She looked at her parents, a confident determination in her eyes. "My hard work has given me this money, and I'm going to use it to do some good. I need you to understand that this is something I have to do. It's not a matter of want. I feel compelled. I have to." Seeing the resolve in her voice, her parents simply nodded. "Okay, Mina," David said. "We'll assist you. We'll email your grandmother and use Google Translate to get her bank account details. We'll make sure the money gets there safely. Don't worry. And," Mina continued, her voice softer now, "I also want to go to Korea. I want to meet them." She looked at her mom, who was surprisingly open to the idea. After all, she did thoroughly enjoy her first trip to Seoul, South Korea, more than a full decade prior. Mina glanced at her dad, wanting to avoid hurting his feelings. "I was wondering if Mom, Maya, and I could do a girls' trip? Just the 3 of us." We could get spa treatments, eat a lot of great food, and just talk about boys or whatever. I'm sorry, Dad. It just might be a bit awkward, 5 girls and 1 man. To her surprise, her dad's face broke into a wide grin. A 5-woman ladies' night out in Korea, he exclaimed, his eyes twinkling. That's a fantastic idea. You, your mom, Maya, your grandma, and Hannah. That gives me the perfect excuse to do something I've been wanting to do for the last 5 years. A 2-week motorcycle trip across the USA. David was suddenly more excited about their trip than they were. He pulled out his phone, already scrolling through maps. I need to buy a new motorcycle for this, of course. Something that can really tackle the open road. I've been eyeing a few models. Dad, Mina interrupted, a new idea forming. Since I'm paying for my trip and I have all this money, I want to give you $1,000 for your motorcycle. Consider it a thank you for all your help with my channel. David immediately shook his head. No way, Mina. This is your money. You earned it. I can't take that. But Dad, you've spent so much on me, Mina insisted. Remember that expensive camera you bought me for my 11th birthday? That's how I got into making videos in the first place. Or all those art supplies. I used a lot of that to make my videos, which also made me this money. You always contribute to my hobbies. This is my turn to give back. That's different, Mina, he argued gently. That's what parents do. This is your savings. They went back and forth, Mina listing every time he'd helped her financially, and David steadfastly refusing. No, Mina. You are my daughter and I am your father. This is final and there is no more discussion here. Drop it, please. Finally, Mina's frustration boiled over. She took a deep breath and then, louder than she intended, shouted, Hey, you're going to take this money. I gave $1,000 to my mom and I want to give $1,000 to my dad. Every last minute you ride on that motorcycle, I want you to think of me. David froze, then slowly his eyes welled up. A single tear rolled down his cheek, then another. He broke down, overwhelmed by Mina's unexpected generosity and the depth of her love. Maya, who had been quietly watching the exchange, suddenly burst out. Hey, everyone is getting $1,000, where's my money? The tension in the room instantly evaporated, replaced by laughter. David wiped his tears, a watery smile on his face. Mina laughed too, relieved. Your trip is covered, Maya, Mina said, giving her a playful shove. Later that day, after the money was transferred to Hannah, Mina had another thought. Dad, she said, I'm going to start a Patreon for my trip. You can run it. I'll document my journey to Korea, and people can make donations to help me get in touch with my roots. It'll be a way to share my experience and maybe even help other adopted kids connect with their heritage. Mina had heard about Patreon, which helped online creators raise money, and she thought she would give it a shot. The shame Hannah had harbored for so many years dissipated, replaced by a profound and overwhelming sense of pride. Hannah was finally free. Totally free. Although it wasn't a life-changing amount, she felt that there was no way Mina could have hated her the way she always feared. That small act really made the difference in shifting her mindset. She had instantly felt bad for the fear she had when she was first contacted, but that feeling was long gone.